Hello, this is the video of the Year 8 lesson that we did this week. The voiceover version, the PowerPoint that you can look at if you didn't catch the lesson or you want to refer to it again. We're going to have a look at stem and leaf diagrams, and we're going to look at it with some mystical creatures that can be found at the bottom of your garden. This was inspired by me watching Artemis Fowl, which was really bad. But also going out into my garden, looking around and seeing these mystical creatures flying around my garden and annoying me. Okay, so we're going to start with this. Stem and leaf it is. You will need a pencil and you will need a ruler. That will make it a lot easier. Okay, I started by measuring the fairies that I found in my garden. They tend to congregate towards the bottom right. They are, and I got a load of them there, 12 centimeters, 31 centimeters, 24 centimeters, and so on. And so one of the things to do first maybe would be to put those in order and to see what the data is doing. Always interested in the range. What's the biggest value we've got? What's the smallest value we've got? And then we'll have a look at turning this into a stem and leaf diagram, which will show us how the data is spread. It's a really nice way of looking at it. So you can see I've got the range there of 70, but there's something wrong with this 82, isn't there? I've turned this into a stem and leaf. I'm going to use the pen here. So this one here and that 2 there, this represents the tens here, and this represents the units. So this 1 and 2 is 12. This 2 and 2 here, 2 and 2, that would be 22. This 3 and 2, that would be 32. But this 8 and 2 would be 82. And so this is the stem, and these are the leaves coming off like that. Okay, there's the stem, there's the leaves, and total up at the side so you can sort of cross-reference that with how many data items you had. Always need a key. Okay, there's a key there. But something is very wrong here with this 82, which makes me think that it's dodgy, and we tend to call that an outlier. Do we keep it? Do we get rid of it? I think probably in this case, let's get rid of it because it just feels wrong. So this is much neater now, and we can see how the data is spread. Most of it is in the tens, there's some in the 20, and a few then in the 30. Giving me a median of 20. So the average fairy, 20 centimeters high. Average one is 20 centimeters high. Now, if you look at the gnomes, and I've got a few of these around what used to be my pond. I haven't got a pond anymore. So they're a bit annoyed with me actually over it because the fishing has really gone down. And they are causing quite a lot of trouble. They tend to do a lot of drinking and swearing. So hopefully I can kind of like sort them out a bit. But if you notice, they are taller. They do tend to be taller. And so I'm going to give you a chance. Remember, you can pause the video at any stage to have a look at what I've been doing here. And I think what you might want to do is have a go at producing the stem and leaf for this. Remember again the range, find the biggest, find the smallest, and then it's easier then to kind of like spread the data out. Okay, so I'll let you have a go at that. So here's the nose. So here's the stem. Here's the leaves again, going from 49 to 83. We can see then how they're distributed. Most of them are in the 70s there. A range of 24, but really I'm more interested in the maximum than what the range actually is. If I want to find the median, I got to kind of like total these up, which is 5, 10, 20, 23. So I got 23 values, and so the halfway there is going to be the 12th one. We're going to be looking between the 11th and 12th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's going to be this one here. It's going to be this one here, which is where I get my 7. Awesome. Right, pixies, a bit like fairies, only a bit more psycho. really quite violent and really, really quite terrifying when you come across them. So it was really quite a job to get their heights. They're not really that keen on being measured, and they live amongst the rose bushes and thorns and stuff, and in stingies and stuff like that. So quite an unpleasant job, really. But hey, it's the least I could do. So there's the data. Have a go at doing the stem and leaf for that, and then have a look at what the answer is on the next slide. I shall have some tea while you're doing. Well, that's good. And there it is. Have a look at that. Check it against yours and see if that's all okay. Could do with changing this key, maybe making a different value, but I've used 2 and 8, 28 each time. But that's fine. All right. Have a look at the next side to see what we can do with this data, where we can start comparing between two different sets of data. You'll find this quite interesting. All right, so this is where we're just going to leave it here, but this is what happens when you've got two sets of data and we have what we call a double-sided stem and leaf, where I've got the fairy information on this side and I've got the pixie information on that side. Because there's overlap between the data, because it's similar data, the stem, which runs all the way down there, can be used for both. But we can see then that the pixie data tends to be that little bit lower. There's none in the teens, whereas a lot of the fairies are in the teens. And if we were to do the median between the two, we would find that with, if you remember the fairies, their median, their average was 20. And if we look here, we're going to have 18. So we're looking between the 9th and 10th. I've done that by adding these together. So there's 18 values. So I need between the 9th and 10th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's between 29 and 32. Now halfway between those two is 3 between them, so it'll be 1.5 on, so it's 30.5. So if you notice, by doing that, we can see that pixies tend to be 10 centimeters taller than fairies on average. On average, they tend to be taller by about 10 centimeters. And they use that to their advantage, and they bully fairies. They bully them all, and it's quite sad. Okay, next time when we do, we'll do this again over the Zoom. We'll have a look at some more of using this to compare data, to compare two sets of data, which makes it then a really, really useful and powerful tool, and quite straightforward to use. Okay.